Ready or not, here it comes. First, congratulations to Coach Kelly and Notre Dame's football team. They played a heck of a ball game and deserved to win with how they played and how they finished. You know, obviously started very slow, and it looked like it could have been really bad. But somehow or another, after they went up 20, we found a way through offense, defense, special teams to get 27 and take the lead, which, you know, is exciting to me as a coach to see that happen. And then really from that point on, Notre Dame pretty much took the game over, and we weren't able to get the job done, really, either side of the ball at that point. But absolutely proud of the effort of our young men. You know, it's not easy to stem the tide like that and rally in a place like this. So there's a lot of good in that. So with that, I'll open it up.
Mark, the start of the game obviously went bad, at the end of the game went bad. Can you talk about the two situations and what you thought went wrong in each?
Yeah, we never really established the run much offensively. Defensively, they just kind of picked us apart a little bit. Short passes, intermediate, little bit of you know, run here, run there, just kind of worked their way down the field. You know, high execution by them, and we didn't have any answers early on defense. I thought the stop to force the field goal that made it 20 was huge, because we know if a team's at 20, you know, you're 3 scores from taking the lead. And, you know, we did get a touchdown on the board for the half, which was good. And, you know, then we onside kick, get it. Just a beautiful job there, Carter especially. Not the best kick, but good enough. And I thought his patience to wait for it to go 10 was huge. A lot of guys might have just jumped on it too quick. The kick wasn't quite as we thought, but you know, we saw film and felt like we had a shot at getting that thing. And then when you get that, that's when you got to score. It's when you got to put points on the board. You know, we could have had it, you know, within 6 points at halftime, which would have been huge. But we start the second half and you know, we score on the first drive, which is great, and cut the lead down to 6, and before you know it, it's tied. Then we get the lead. But at the very end, again, we just didn't have enough answers defensively or offensively.
Coach, you look at where this team was about a month ago, 4-0, ranked top 10 in the country, 4 losses now. Where do you go from here?
Go play Pitt.
How can you assess what happened in this 4-game losing streak?
Well, we didn't get it done, obviously. I mean, it's a team thing, you know, offense, defense, special teams. Bottom line is we didn't get it done. And came close, you know. 3 out of 4 came close, but close doesn't count. So we got to get better.
Coach, you kind of had a murderer's row of quarterbacks the last 4 weeks. How does Kaiser compare to that group?
They're all good players. There's a bunch of good quarterbacks around, and Kaiser certainly played well tonight.
Hey, Mark, what did he say in the Mark back right here? What did you guys say in the second and in the halftime? You know, for the, you know, you guys came out totally
right,
you know, different than the first half. Who stepped up in the locker room?
You know, I think everybody was in a good place. You know, the coaching staff did a good job of painting the picture of what could happen. Just fight. Let's see what happens, you know. We didn't predict any grand comeback, but we knew if we would fight and we would execute, we'd have a chance to get back in this thing, which we did. And even more than that, quite frankly. But, you know, you can look in a group of guys' eyes and see if they're going to sack their bats, and that wasn't it. You know, I mean, we lost 4 in a row, as you mentioned back there, but we haven't lost our fight, which is, you know, there's a lot to be said for that. It's, you know, people that, you know, that aren't in the game itself, it's hard to turn it around when it starts like that. It's really hard to do, especially after you've lost three. You know, you can be looking around and saying, "Hey, man, I've had enough," but that's not what they did. So, that part above everything is the thing that made me the most proud of what happened tonight. And but we all know it's about wins and losses, and we lost.
Mark, where do you think the biggest breakdowns have been in the last 2 weeks in pass protections? The sack numbers have doubled or tripled just from the first 6
Yeah,
games
well,
of the
part of
year.
it is just getting behind. You get behind and you end up having to chunk it maybe a little bit more than you want to. The other thing is just not really establishing the run well enough. We're getting ourselves in a situation where if it's third and manageable medium, it's hard to call a run and expect to get the first down. We just not really run the ball well enough on first and second down to set ourselves up for, a more manageable third down situation. And then, of course, if you run and play action pass, it takes a little edge off the rush, because they're not quite sure. Is it run? Is it pass? What is it? And it changes their pass rush a little bit and the intensity of it. But if you're sitting there and like, hey, we got to scheme them up and pass pro and run these route concepts and get people open. And I think we did get people open, maybe more so in the first half than the second. There's times when, there's always going to be times when you get beat and you get a sack. That's going to happen. And but when you get behind, you don't get the running game going like you should. It just puts us in a situation where we have to just drop back and throw the ball to have a chance to get back in it. And a lot of good things did happen, but in the end, not enough.
I'm curious, what was the range on Bagley there on the last drive? Where do you think you had to get to?
If we got to the 40, he can make that. We think that would have been a 57-yarder. We were getting close. Maybe one more completion and a clock play is what we were hoping for, but couldn't quite get it done. I had called a play before the timeout that I wish I'd have called again. I don't know if it had mattered in regard to the protection, but there's a play that I had called that I think would have given us a better chance of him throwing it on rhythm and having a shot. But when they called timeout, I thought they were going to change coverage. But, and they may have changed coverage, but it looked pretty close to the same as what they had the play before. And so I called something that I thought, I was reacting to the fact that I thought they might run more of a true prevent defense on that.
Anything else?
All right, thank you.